I always wanted to be a model. I always wanted to be a model, but my mother wouldn't let me. So it's 1984, and New York is on fire. There was so much creativity, and I was right smack in the center of it, going to school in the Village. And I got discovered to be a model. I went to an agency called Click, and I went to Paris with no money. I couldn't speak French. I didn't know anyone. It was the best thing I ever did. It was a true adventure. There was always a difference between, you know, the way black models and white models were paid for the runway. There was always a wisdom that if you were black, you couldn't be on a cover because it would never sell, that you would never get an advertising campaign because nobody wanted to buy clothes or makeup or anything from women of color. So, you know, there was always that was very disappointing, but at the same time, it wasn't unique to the fashion industry at all. So, you know, I happened to be in the right place at the right time, and I ended up with a Revlon contract. I was the first black woman to get a contract, a full cosmetic contract, which is, you know, for models, that's the best thing that you can possibly get from working in this industry. Steven Meisel is my favorite photographer to work with. I just love Steven because Steven lets you be a drawing. You know, and he really, you know, he puts a mirror there. He remembers everything about you. It's almost like when you work with Steven, he's picking up his favorite paintbrush that he has been working with all the time, and he knows exactly what to do. You know, I had always enjoyed writing, loved writing. There's a little magazine downtown called Paper Magazine, and the editor said, you know, please write a restaurant review for us. And I ended up writing a column, which was about the first of many things, like the first time you fall in love, the first time you get fired. Then I became editor-at-large of Interview, and then I got an offer from Harvey Weinstein. You know, well, let's take all your columns and put them together into a book. And that's how Veronica website came about in 1990. I love New York because New York looks so good in the movies. I did a couple movies. I did 2 Spike Lee movies. I did Jungle Fever and Malcolm X. I have the greatest admiration for Spike as a director. I mean, he really helped change the way people heard the voices of black people in this country. And, you know, he's a good filmmaker. And for a while we were a couple and we had like a very torrid and difficult relationship. You know, now we can see each other and smile and say hi and wish each other the best. But at that time, you know, trying to work together and being under such a microscope was not easy. Well, for me, like a perfect day, I had a perfect day with my kids today. You know, we got up at 6. It was raining, so we didn't get to run to school or to ride scooters to school. But I love getting up with them. I love like giving them a hot breakfast, and there they are in their little pajamas, you know, and they're fresh, and every day is like totally brand new. And they're so excited to see what's going to happen, you know, and they're just so funny. Like everything that comes out of their mouth is hilarious. They're just so funny at this age. You know, when people always ask me that question, like, what's your personal style? Well, it's got to be comfortable and it's got to be beautiful. And I think those are one and the same. Fashion for me is fun. Fashion for me is expressing yourself. Fashion for me is taking a snapshot of the time that you live in. And fashion, most of all, is a connection to people who you love.